What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with an update video here in regards to the most important uniques that we should be farming in the game. But as well, I want to demonstrate for you guys an experiment in terms of the number of raid orbs that I have saved up, and I'm curious how many of these specific uniques we can actually get out of it, especially with the materials that I have amassed. So having said that, let's get right to it, guys. The meat and potatoes, obviously there's going to be some uniques that are more important in the game just based on kind of what we're seeing with the new teams and obviously the meta. First and foremost, I brought this up in an earlier video, but the Augmented Alien Spores is going to be one of the most coveted uniques that we see right now, just because it does mix in with Super Scroll here, and as well the new members of the Hive Mind team, in addition to both Carnage and Venom, who do require quite a bit of these materials as well. So it's going to be really important, guys. We need to focus on the characters that we obviously want to build up, but Super Scroll is going to obviously have an importance here, so he's going to take precedence in building him up. And then following that, you know, I do like how Void Knight and Gwenom are fitting in with the current Hive Mind team. We just need to be smart. Obviously, bringing all these characters to Gear Tier 18 may not be feasible for your roster, so that's why, you know, right now from the get-go, our game plan should be focusing on farming these as much as we can, especially through the supply store, using war credits, and as well as the Cosmic Crucible also has an opportunity to get that. But again, the raid orbs are going to give us a big opportunity. If you guys aren't able to selectively target them, we can trust or maybe rely on RNG. Another big one, in my honest opinion, is the tempered osmium here. So this one was prior to Alien Spores. Obviously, we see some of the best characters actually being slotted into this unique, right? Especially with Gambit getting reworked, the addition of Nightcrawler being, you know, a top 5 tune in the game now. We also seen characters that are very notable, especially in Val, where, you know, Val has value obviously in Dark Dimension 6, the incursion raids, but even characters like Iron Man, Infinity War, Morgan Le Fay, Nova, Ronan, they all have some sort of use in the game right now, and I think Osmium is definitely one of the most crowded ones, just because you basically have to pick and choose the teams that you want to be focusing on. And keep in mind, I believe the average of bringing a character using the augmented gear anyways, from Gear Tier 16 to 18, averages out up to be about 65 uniques per character. So you really do want to be strategic on how you allocate these resources. And then lastly, not so much an issue compared to the Alien Spores and Osmium is, in my honest opinion, the Miasma. So with Miasma, thankfully, there's only a couple characters that we do want to focus on, but it's going to be potentially, in my honest opinion, a issue for potentially the Dark Dimension 7, just because there's some pretty notable characters. They get separated here in Mythic, right? So Dr. Doom and Dormammu are confirmed characters to be utilized in Dark Dimension 7. Well, they also are both Mystic characters and they share Miasma, which makes it even harder. We also know the value of Robbie Reyes and what he can bring to the table in terms of the city section and those nodes respectively, especially seeing how he did in Dark Dimension 6. So definitely some options that we have to consider here. Can we build up both Dr. Doom and Dormammu? It's difficult to say. As well, you know, we should be prioritizing a meta character right now, such as Robbie Reyes. Now, it goes without saying, obviously, you still need Death Pool up to Gear Tier 17 if you want to fully upgrade Apocalypse through the sagas. And then as well, Adam Warlock and Hela, they have value in the game with their teams depending on the game mode that you want to focus on, right? Especially if you're using Hela for war. I mean, that's why it makes it difficult right now. But obviously, these are the 3 most important uniques, in my honest opinion, in the game right now that we should be focusing on whenever there is an opportunity. So I definitely recommend you guys. I think this is going to be something we're going to be watching on for the duration of the year until they, you know, start obviously releasing that bottleneck and giving us that opportunity here. Well, guys, enough of that. So those are, in my honest opinion, the 3 most important: Alien Spores, Osmium, and Miasma. Let's see how we do with the raid orb. So just a showcase for you guys here, right? I've saved up quite a few of these just from going through obviously the Incursion 2 raids, and we got over 600 now. So I want to see now definitively, if we are going to open all 600, how much are we going to be getting, right? So yeah, let's just get right to it. I'm just going to start all 600, but I want to see what the math turns out to be, especially if you're hoarding. And again, if you're not going through the store and using gold, using your materials like the war credits and Cosmic Crucible, this is an opportunity at least to see how much of a dent can we do by opening this many orbs. And this might have to be the alternative strategy to get these kind of uniques, because of the fact that at least this is kind of indiscriminate and RNG based, but gives us a sense that if we are going to save this many orbs, maybe this can make a sizable dent in the uniques. Now, keep in mind, obviously, there's other uniques in the game, but I've been wanting to do this experiment for quite some time, and just curious to see what the drop rates are, and whether or not the importance of all those other characters I mentioned for those 3 specific uniques plays a factor in the odds here. So okay, perfect. Yeah, we're more than halfway done here. Yeah, I'm super glad they added this system here. It just gives us an opportunity just to open all of them at once and then assess the math here and what we get. But I would say getting these orbs are probably going to be a main source for many folks, especially if you don't have the amount of credits. And again, sometimes with the supply store, you just don't get what you want. So unfortunately, you have to just use this as an alternative means to obtain these uniques. Okay, let's take a look here. So obviously the catalysts are going to be a really big component of this, but we're more specifically focused on 600 orbs. How many of the uniques did we actually get? Oh, so like even going through like stuff like obviously carbodium, like I'm surprised we actually didn't see that much there. We only got 3 pieces of osmium, as you can see. Oh, sorry, of the chromium, 6 pieces of the osmium there. We got some cloth, some astro, some gamma. My goodness. And look at that. Out of 600 orbs, guys, we got 4 pieces of miasma and 3 alien spores. So that's kind of the situation we're in, folks. You know, that amount of orbs that only gives you this few of pieces, just because the fact is this gets spread out across all the uniques, right? We can obviously see maybe it's AI based, maybe it's based on what you have in your current roster inventory, but yeah, it's not looking great, guys. Even 600 orbs, which in my honest opinion took some time to build up, and we're only getting those few pieces. That's why it's extremely important when you guys are going through the supply store to make sure you're checking, you know, with your code, if you can target specific uniques and so forth here. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of that, because at least then that way you can actually pinpoint. But that's why all the more importance here to focus on building up characters strategically, not having to bring everyone to gear tier 18. Maybe 16 and 17 should be the cutoff mark, especially when you go from 17 to 18. I believe it's like 24 or 25 pieces. It's a pretty notable portion, right? So thankfully, you don't always need gear tier 18 characters unless you're bringing them up into Dark Dimension 6. So something to be mindful of, guys. Anyways, let me know what you think in comments below. This is fun to test out and at least see how the odds are, but not great. Obviously, we want to be smart and strategically using our resources, not over upgrading when you don't need to, because at the end of the day, these are very, very hard uniques to obtain, and I expect that to be the game plan for 2024. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.